'71 is set in Northern Ireland, and it's about a British soldier that gets separated from his unit and he struggles to survive in all the mayhem. This poster is a little bit deceptive because you see it and you think this guy's probably going to be kicking a lot of ass, but it's kind of the reverse. I don't like war movies that much because they're really violent and I feel like a lot of them have an agenda, but I did like Hurt Locker and Letters to Iwo Jima, and Fury was actually a lot of fun. Regardless, I was still really looking forward to this movie because of Jack O'Connell. Jack O'Connell was in Startup, and that was probably one of the best prison movies I have ever seen, if not one of the best movies of 2014. He was phenomenal as a young inmate, and you should definitely check it out, and I definitely want to talk about it at some point. In this film, he doesn't need to be that good because there's so many layers to that character, but he just kind of needs to act scared, and he definitely delivers. This guy's a great actor. This is a really good action film with a lot of political elements, so it's entertaining and it educates you. A very brief history lesson to set this film up. Ireland's been part of the UK for a while, but not everybody's happy about that. In the late 1960s, there was some civil unrest based on some movements that was happening in Ireland, and unfortunately it turned violent. Britain deployed troops into Ireland to help keep the peace, and that made some people even more mad. This is when the Irish Republic Army kind of rose to power, and they made it their mission to first defend themselves from the British because they believed Ireland should be their own country, but eventually they went on the offense. This film is set during one of these riots. Our protagonist is part of the British Army trying to keep the peace during a riot, and there's the IRA forces trying to fight the British, and we have these other factions that all want different things. I didn't really know a lot about the film other than that it's set in Ireland. This film educates you on what it was like in 1971. You get a sense of the atmosphere and the general unrest. You learn about this through a variety of backroom talks that kind of break apart the action scenes. The political environment is really a powder keg and it can explode at any time, and that really gives you a sense of tension throughout the whole film. So while half of this is kind of political, the other half is definitely an action chase film. And the action is great. You're on the edge of your seat the whole time. I thought by this time I'd be desensitized to violence, especially after watching Fury, but there are still some scenes that you watch and you think, wow, that was really messed up. All of the supporting casts do a great job of playing all of these different people in different factions who all have their own agendas. We don't get to see each character for very long, but just based on the scenes they are in, we get a sense of who they are. We don't really have to know their backstories. We see their personalities and we see that they're complex human beings with motivations that aren't just black and white. We do root for our hero, but it's really these supporting character stories that really stick with us. So even though all of these people are part of different factions, their own agendas sometimes conflict with what the party wants. So there's just a lot of issues. It's just really a mess, and a lot of people suffered for this mess. Over 3,000 people died during this struggle. This film reminded me a lot of Nightcrawler, not plot-wise or character-wise, just that I was watching something that was very interesting and I was learning a lot about the subject matter while also being on the edge of my seat because it's a really exciting action film. I think it's really cool when a film can do that while still being entertaining without being too preachy. One slight criticism though is it's nothing really new. The soldier struggling to survive story has been told before, but it's done very well here, and it's set in a unique time and place that hasn't been talked about that much on film. This is a great movie. I love Jack O'Connell and I learned a lot while watching it. I give this film a B+. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more reviews. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Peace. Birdman is one of the most talked about films of the year. After watching Birdman,